Personality an obstacle. The personality is only an obstacle. Self-identification with the body may be good for an infant, but true growing up depends on getting the body out of the way. Questioner. As I see it, the world is a school of yoga and life itself is yoga practice. Everybody strives for perfection. And what is yoga but striving? Is there nothing contemptible about the so-called common people in their common lives? They strive as hard and suffer as much as the yogi, only they are not conscious of their true purpose. Maharaj, in what way are your common people yogis? Questioner, their ultimate goal is the same. What the yogi secures by renunciation, tyaga, the common man realizes through experience, boga. The way of boga is unconscious and therefore repetitive and protracted, while the way of yoga is deliberate and intense and therefore can be more rapid. Maharaj, maybe the periods of yoga and boga alternate. First, bogi, then yogi, then again bogi, then again yogi. Questioner, what is the purpose? Maharaj, weak desires can be removed by introspection and meditation, but strong, deep-rooted ones must be fulfilled, and their fruit sweet or bitter tasted. Questioner, why then should we pay tribute to yogis and speak slightingly of bogies? All are yogis in a way. Maharaj, on the human scale of values, deliberate effort is considered praiseworthy. In reality, both the yogi and the bogi follow their own nature according to circumstances and opportunities. The yogi's life is governed by a single desire to find the truth. The bogi serves many masters, but the bogi becomes a yogi, and the yogi may get a rounding up in a bout of boga. The final result is the same. Questioner. Buddha is reported to have said that there is tremendously important to have heard that there is enlightenment, a complete reversal and transformation in consciousness. The good news is compared to a spark in a shipload of cotton. Slowly but relentlessly, the whole of it will turn to ashes. Similarly, the good news of enlightenment will sooner or later bring about a transformation. Maharaj, yes, first hearing, shravana, then remembering, smarana, pondering, manana, and so on. We are on familiar ground. The man who heard the news becomes a yogi while the rest continue in their boga. Questioner, but you agree that living a life, just living the humdrum life of the world, being born to die and dying to be born, advances man by its sheer volume, just like the river finds its way to the sea by the sheer mass of water it gathers. Maharaj, before the world was, consciousness was. In consciousness, it comes into being. In consciousness, it lasts. And into pure consciousness, it dissolves. At the root of everything is the feeling I am. The state of mind, there is a world, is secondary. For to be, I do not need the world. The world needs me. Questioner, the desire to live is a tremendous thing. Maharaj, still greater is the freedom from the urge to live. Questioner, the freedom of the stone. Maharaj, yes, the freedom of the stone, and much more besides. Freedom unlimited and conscious. Questioner, is not personality required for gathering experience? Maharaj, as you are now, the personality is only an obstacle. Self-identification with the body may be good for an infant, but true growing up depends on getting the body out of the way. Normally, one should outgrow body-based desires early in life. Even the bogey, who does not refuse enjoyments, needs not hanker after the ones he has tasted. Habit, the desire for repetition, frustrates both the yogi and the bogey. Questioner, why do you continue dismissing the person, Vyatki, as of no importance? Personality is the primary fact of our existence. It occupies the entire stage. Maharaj, as long as you do not see that it is mere habit, built on memory, prompted by desire, you will think yourself to be a person. Living, feeling, thinking, active, passive, pleased or pained. Question yourself. Ask yourself, is it so? Who am I? What is beyond and behind all of this? Soon you will see your mistake. And it is in the very nature of a mistake to cease to be when seen. Questioner, the yoga of living, of life itself, we may call the natural yoga, Nisarga yoga. It reminds me of the primal yoga, Adi yoga, mentioned in the Rig Veda, which was described as the marrying of life with mind. Maharaj, a life lived thoughtfully in full awareness is by itself Nisarga yoga. Questioner, what does the marriage of life and mind mean? Maharaj, living in spontaneous awareness, consciousness of effortless living, being fully interested in one's life. All this is implied. Questioner, Sharada Devi, wife of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, used to scold his disciples for too much effort. She compared them to mangoes on the tree, which are being plucked before they are ripe. Why hurry, she used to ask. Wait till you're fully ripe, mellow, and sweet. Maharaj, how right she was. There are so many who take the dawn for the noon, a momentary experience for full realization, and destroy even the little they gain by excess pride. Humility and silence are essential for a sadhaka, spiritual aspirant. However advanced, only a fully ripened jnani can allow himself complete spontaneity. Questioner, it seems there are schools of yoga where the student, after illumination, is obliged to keep silent for 7 or 12 or 15 or even 25 years. Even Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi imposed on himself 20 years of silence before he began to teach. Maharaj, yes, the inner fruit must ripen. Until then, the discipline, the living in awareness must go on. Gradually, the practice becomes more and more subtle until it becomes altogether formless. Questioner, Krishnamurti too speaks of living in awareness. Maharaj, he always aims directly at the ultimate. Yes, ultimately, all yogas end in your Adi yoga, the marriage of consciousness, the bride, to life, the bridegroom. Consciousness and being, Sat Chit, meet in bliss, Ananda. For bliss to arise, there must be meeting, contact, and assertion of unity in duality. Questioner, Buddha too has said that for the attainment of nirvana, one must go to living beings. Consciousness needs life to grow. Maharaj, the world itself is contact. The totality of all contacts actualized in consciousness. The spirit touches matter, and consciousness results. Such consciousness, when tainted with memory and expectation, becomes bondage. Pure experience does not bind. Experience caught between desire and fear is impure and creates karma. Questioner, can there be happiness and unity? Does not all happiness necessarily imply contact, hence duality? Maharaj, There is nothing wrong with duality as long as it does not create conflict. Multiplicity and variety without strife are joy. In pure consciousness there is light. For warmth, contact is needed. Above the unity of being is the union of love. Love is the meaning and purpose of duality. Questioner: I am an adopted child. I do not know my own father. My mother died when I was born. My foster father, to please my foster mother, who was childless, adopted me. Almost by accident. He is a simple man, a truck owner and driver. My mother keeps the house. I am 24 years old now. For the last 2.5 years, I have been traveling, restless, seeking. I want to live a good life, a holy life. What am I to do? Maharaj: go home, take charge of your father's business, and look after your parents in their old age. Marry the girl who is waiting for you. Be loyal, be simple, and be humble. Hide your virtue, live silently. The 5 senses and the 3 qualities, gunas, are your 8 steps in yoga. And I am is the great reminder, Maha Mantra. You can learn from them all you need to know. Be attentive, inquire ceaselessly. That is all. Questioner: if just living one's life liberates, why are not all liberated? Maharaj: all are being liberated. It is not what you live, but how you live that matters. The idea of enlightenment is of utmost importance. Just to know that there is such a possibility changes one's entire outlook. It acts like a burning match in a heap of sawdust. All the great teachers did nothing else. A spark of truth can burn up a mountain of lies. The opposite is also true. The sun of truth remains hidden behind the cloud of self-identification with the body. Questioner: this spreading the good news of enlightenment seems very important. Maharaj: the very hearing of it is a promise of enlightenment. The very meeting with a guru is the assurance of liberation. Perfection is life-giving and creative. Questioner: does a realized man ever think, I am realized? Is he not astonished when people make much of him? Does he not take himself to be an ordinary human being? Maharaj: neither ordinary nor extraordinary, just being aware and affectionate intensely. He looks at himself without indulging in self-definitions and self-identifications. He does not know himself as anything apart from the world. He is the world. He is completely rid of himself, like a man who is very rich but continually gives away his riches. He is not rich, for he has nothing. He is not poor, for he gives abundantly. He is just propertyless. Similarly, the realized man is egoless. He has lost the capacity to identify himself with anything. He is without location, placeless, beyond space and time, beyond the world. He is beyond words and thoughts. Questioner: well, it is deep mystery to me. I am a simple man. Maharaj: it is you who are deep, complex, mysterious, hard to understand. I am simplicity itself compared to you. I am what is, without any distinction whatsoever into inner and outer, mine and yours, good and bad. What the world is, I am. What I am, the world is. Questioner: how does it happen that each man creates his own world? Maharaj: when a number of people are asleep, each dreams his own dream. It is only on awakening that the question of many different dreams arises and dissolves, when they are all seen as dreams, as something imagined. Questioner: even dreams have a foundation. Maharaj: in memory. Even then, what is remembered is but another dream. The memory of the false cannot but give rise to the false. There is nothing wrong with memory as such. What is false is its content. Remember facts, forget opinions. Questioner: what is a fact? Maharaj, what is perceived in pure awareness, unaffected by desire and fear, is fact. The beginningless begins forever. The beginningless begins forever. In the same way, I give eternally, because I have nothing. To be nothing, to have nothing, to keep nothing for oneself is the greatest gift, the highest generosity. Questioner, the other day I was asking you about the two ways of growth, renunciation and enjoyment, yoga and boga. The difference is not so great as it looks. The yogi renounces to enjoy. The bogi enjoys to renounce. The yogi renounces first. The bogi enjoys first. Maharaj, so what? Leave the yogi to his yoga and the bogi to his boga. Questioner, the way of boga seems to me the better one. The yogi is like a green mango separated from the tree prematurely and kept to ripen in a basket of straw, airless and overheated. It does get ripe, but the true flavor and fragrance are lost. The mango left on the tree grows to full size, color, and sweetness, a joy in every way. Yet somehow yoga gets all the praises and boga all the curses. As I see it, boga is the better of the two. Maharaj, what makes you say so? Questioner, I watch the yogis and their enormous efforts. Even when they realize there is something bitter or astringent about it. They seem to spend much of their time in trances, and when they speak, they merely voice their scriptures. At their best, such jnanis are like flowers, perfect, but just little flowers, shedding their fragrance within a short radius. There are some others who are like forests, rich, varied, immense, full of surprises, a world in themselves. There must be a reason for this difference. Maharaj, well, you said it. According to you, one got stunted in his yoga, while the other flourished in boga. Questioner, is it not so? The yogi is afraid of life and seeks peace, while the bogi is adventurous, full of spirit, forward-going. The yogi is bound by an ideal, while the bogi is always ready to explore. Maharaj, it is a matter of wanting much or being satisfied with little. The yogi is ambitious, while the bogi is merely adventurous. Your bogi seems to be richer and more interesting, but it is not so in reality. The yogi is narrow as the sharp edge of the knife. He has to be, to cut deep and smoothly, to penetrate unerringly in many layers of the false. The bogi worships at many altars. The yogi serves none but his own true self. There is no purpose in opposing the yogi to the bogi. The way of outgoing, pravriti, necessarily precedes the way of returning, nivriti. To sit in judgment and allot marks is ridiculous. Everything contributes to the ultimate perfection. Some say there are three aspects of reality: truth, wisdom, and bliss. He who seeks truth becomes a yogi. He who seeks wisdom becomes a jnani. He who seeks happiness becomes the man of action. Questioner, we are told of the bliss of non-duality. Maharaj, such bliss is more in the nature of a great peace. Pleasure and pain are the fruits of actions, righteous and unrighteous. Questioner, what makes the difference? Maharaj, the difference is between giving and grasping. Whatever the way of approach, in the end all becomes one. Questioner, if there is no difference in the goal, why discriminate between various approaches? Maharaj, let each act according to his nature. The ultimate purpose will be served in any case. All your discriminations and classifications are quite all right, but they do not exist in my case. All the descriptions of a dream may be detailed and accurate, though without having any foundation, so does your pattern fit nothing but your own assumptions. You begin with an idea and you end with the same idea under different garb. Questioner, how do you see things? Maharaj, one and all are the same to me. The same consciousness, chit, appears as being, sat, and as bliss, ananda. Chit in movement is ananda. Chit motionless is being. Questioner, still you are making a distinction between motion and motionlessness. Maharaj, non-distinction speaks in silence. Words carry distinctions. The unmanifested, nirguna, has no name. All names refer to the manifested, saguna. It is useless to struggle with words to express what is beyond words. Consciousness, chit, is spirit. Purusha, consciousness, is matter, prakriti. Imperfect spirit is matter. Perfect matter is spirit. In the beginning, as in the end, all is one. All division is in the mind, chitta. There is none in reality, chit. Movement and rest are states of mind and cannot be without their opposites. By itself nothing moves, nothing rests. It is a grievous mistake to attribute absolute existence to mental constructs. Nothing exists by itself. Questioner, you seem to identify rest with the supreme state. Maharaj, there is rest as a state of mind, chidaram, and there is rest as a state of being, adaram. The former comes and goes, while the true rest is the very heart of action. Unfortunately, language is a mental tool and works only in opposites. Questioner, as a witness, are you working or at rest? Maharaj, witnessing is an experience and rest is freedom from experience. Questioner, can't they coexist? As the tumult of the waves and the quiet of the deep coexist in the ocean? Maharaj, beyond the mind there is no such thing as experience. Experience is a dual state. You cannot talk of reality as an experience. Once this is understood, you will no longer look for being and becoming as separate and opposite. In reality, they are one and inseparable. Like roots and branches of the same tree, both can exist only in the light of consciousness, which again arises in the wake of the sense I am. This is the primary fact. If you miss it, you miss all. Questioner, is the sense of being a product of experience only? The great saying, Mahavakya, Tat Sat. Is it a mere mode of mentation? Maharaj, whatever is spoken is speech only. Whatever is thought only. The real meaning is unexplainable, although experienceable. The Mahavakya is true, but your ideas are false, for all ideas, kalpana, are false. Questioner, is the conviction I am that false? Maharaj, of course. Conviction is a mental state. In that, there is no I am. With the sense I am emerging, that is obscured. Just as with the sun rising, the stars are wiped out. But as the sun comes with light, so with the sense of self comes bliss, ananda. The cause of bliss is sought in the not I, and thus the bondage begins. Questioner, in your daily life you are always conscious of your real state? Maharaj, neither conscious nor unconscious. I do not need convictions. I live on courage. Courage is my essence, which is love of life. I am free of memories and anticipations, unconcerned with what I am and what I am not. I am not addicted to self-descriptions, Soham and Brahmasmi. I am He. I am the Supreme. are of no use to me. I have the courage to be as nothing and to see the world as it is, nothing. It sounds simple, just try it. Questioner, but what gives you courage? Maharaj, how perverted are your views? Need courage be given? Your question implies that anxiety is the normal state and courage is abnormal. It is the other way around. Anxiety and hope are born of imagination. I am free of both. I am simple being, and I need nothing to rest on. Questioner, unless you know yourself, of what use is your being to you? To be happy with what you are, you must know what you are. Maharaj, being shines as knowing. Knowing is warm in love. All is one. You imagine separations and trouble yourself with questions. Don't concern yourself overmuch with formulations. Pure being cannot be described. Questioner, unless a thing is knowable and enjoyable, it is of no use to me. It must become a part of my experience, first of all. Maharaj, you are dragging down reality to the level of experience. How can reality depend on experience when it is the very ground, adbar, of experience? Reality is in the very fact of experience, not in its nature. Experience is, after all, a state of mind, while being is definitely not a state of mind. Questioner, again I am confused. Is being separate from knowing? Maharaj, the separation is an appearance. Just as the dream is not apart from the dreamer, so is knowing not apart from being. The dream is the dreamer, the knowledge is the knower. The distinction is merely verbal. Questioner, I can see now that Sat and Chit are one. But what about bliss, Ananda? Being and consciousness are always present together, but bliss flashes only occasionally. Maharaj, the undisturbed state of being is bliss. The disturbed state is what appears as the world. In non-duality, there is bliss. In duality, experience. What comes and goes is experience with its duality of pain and pleasure. Bliss is not to be known. One is always bliss, but never blissful. Bliss is not an attribute. Questioner, I have another question to ask. Some yogis attain their goal, but it is of no use to others. They do not know or are not able to share. Those who can share what they have initiate others. What is the difference? Maharaj, there is no difference. Your approach is wrong. There are no others to help. A rich man, when he hands over his entire fortune to his family, has not a coin left to give a beggar. So is the wise man, Jnani, stripped of all his powers and possessions. Nothing, literally nothing, can be said about him. He cannot help anybody, for he is everybody. He is the poor and also his poverty, the thief and also his thievery. How can he be said to help when he is not a part? He who thinks of himself as separate from the world, let him help the world. Questioner, still there is duality, there is sorrow, there is need of help. By denouncing it as mere dream, nothing is achieved. Maharaj, the only thing that can help is to wake up from the dream. Questioner, an awakener is needed. Maharaj, who again is in the dream? The awakener signifies the beginning of the end. There are no eternal dreams. Questioner, even when it is beginningless. Maharaj, everything begins with you. What else is beginningless? Questioner, I began at birth. Questioner, that is what you are told. Is it so? Did you see yourself beginning? Questioner, I began just now. All else is memory. Maharaj, quite right. The beginningless begins forever. In the same way, I give eternally because I have nothing. To be nothing, to have nothing. To keep nothing for oneself is the greatest gift, the highest generosity. Questioner, is there no self-concern left? Maharaj, of course, I am self-concerned, but the self is all. In practice it takes the shape of goodwill, unfailing and universal. You may call it love, all-pervading, all-redeeming. Such love is supremely active, without the sense of doing. All suffering is born of desire. All suffering is born of desire. True love is never frustrated. How can the sense of unity be frustrated? What can be frustrated is the desire for expression. The desire is of the mind. As with all things mental, frustration is inevitable. Questioner, I come from a far-off country. I had some inner experiences of my own, and I would like to compare notes. Maharaj, by all means. Do you know yourself? Questioner, I know that I am not the body, nor am I the mind. Maharaj, what makes you say so? Questioner, I do not feel I am in the body. I seem to be all over the place, everywhere. As to the mind, I can switch it on or off, so to speak. This makes me feel I am not the mind. Maharaj, when you feel yourself everywhere in the world, do you remain separate from the world? Or are you the world? Questioner, both. Sometimes I feel myself to be neither mind nor body, but one single all-seeing I. When I go deeper into it, I find myself to be all I see, and the world and myself become one. Maharaj, very well. What about desires? Do you have any? Questioner, yes. They come short and superficial. Maharaj, and what do you do about them? Questioner, what can I do? They come, they go. I look at them. Sometimes I see my body and my mind engaging in fulfilling them. Maharaj, whose desires are being fulfilled? Questioner, they are a part of the world in which I live. They are those just as trees and clouds are. Maharaj, are they not a sign of some imperfection? Questioner, why should they be? They are as they are, and I am as I am. How can the appearance and disappearance of desires affect me? Of course they affect the shape and content of the mind. Maharaj, very well. What is your work? Questioner, I am a probation officer. Maharaj, what does it mean? Questioner, juvenile offenders are let off on probation, and there are special officers to watch their behavior and to help them get training and find work. Maharaj, must you work? Questioner, who works? Work happens to take place. Maharaj, do you need to work? Questioner, I need it for the sake of money. I like it because it puts me in touch with living beings. Maharaj, what do you need them for? Questioner, they may need me, as it is their destinies that made me take up this work. It is one life after all. Maharaj, how did you come to your present state? Questioner, Sri Ramana Maharishi's teachings have put me on my way. Then I met one, Douglas Harding, who helped me by showing me how to work on the Who Am I. Maharaj, was it sudden or gradual? Questioner, it was quite sudden, like something quite forgotten coming back into one's mind, or like a sudden flash of understanding. How simple, I said. How simple. I am not what I thought I am. I'm neither the perceived nor the perceiver. I'm the perceiving only. Maharaj, not even the perceiving, but that which makes all possible. Questioner, what is love? Maharaj, when the sense of distinction and separation is absent, you may call it love. Questioner, why so much stress on love between man and woman? Maharaj, because the element of happiness in it is so prominent. Questioner, is it not so in all love? Maharaj, not necessarily. Love may cause pain. You then call it compassion. Questioner, what is happiness? Maharaj, harmony between the inner and the outer is happiness. On the other hand, self-identification with the outer is suffering. Questioner, how does self-identification happen? Maharaj, the self by its nature knows itself only. For lack of experience, whatever it perceives, it takes to be itself. Battered, it learns to look out, viveka, and to live alone, vairagya. When right behavior, uparati, becomes normal, a powerful inner urge, mukshutva, makes it seek its source. The candle of the body is lighted, and all becomes clear and bright. Atma Prakash. Questioner, what is the real cause of suffering? Maharaj, self-identification with the limited. Vyaktitiva. Sensations as such, however strong, do not cause suffering. It is the mind, bewildered by wrong ideas, addicted to thinking, I am this, I am that fears loss and craves gain and suffers when frustrated. Questioner, a friend of mine used to have horrible dreams night after night. Going to sleep would terrorize him. Nothing could help him. Maharaj, company of the truly good satsang would help him. Questioner, life itself is a nightmare. Maharaj, noble friendship, satsang, is the supreme remedy for all ills, physical and mental. Questioner, generally one cannot find such friendship. Maharaj, seek within. Your own self is your best friend. Questioner, why is life so full of contradictions? Maharaj, it serves to break down mental pride. We must realize how poor and powerless we are. As long as we delude ourselves by what we imagine ourselves to be, to know, to have, to do, we are in a sad plight indeed. Only in complete self-negation is there a chance to discover our real being. Questioner, why so much stress on self-negation? Maharaj, as much as on self-realization, the false self must be abandoned before the real self can be found. Questioner, the self you choose to call false is to me the most distressingly real. It is the only self I know. What you call the real self is a mere concept, a way of speaking, a creature of the mind, an attractive ghost. My daily self is not a beauty. I admit, but it is my own and only self. You say I am or have another self. Do you see it? Is it a reality to you, or do you want me to believe what you yourself don't see? Maharaj, don't jump to conclusions rashly. The concrete need not be the real. The conceived need not be the false. Perceptions based on sensations and shaped by memory imply a perceiver whose nature you never cared to examine. Give it your full attention. Examine it with loving care, and you will discover heights and depths of being which you did not dream of, engrossed as you are in your puny image of yourself. Questioner, I must be in the right mood to examine myself fruitfully. Maharaj, you must be serious, intent, truly interested. You must be full of goodwill for yourself. Questioner, I am selfish, all right. Maharaj, you are not. You are all the time destroying yourself and your own by serving your strange gods, inimical and false. By all means, be selfish the right way. Wish yourself well. Labor at what is good for you. Destroy all that stands between you and happiness. Be all, be love, be happy, make happy. No happiness is greater. Questioner, why is there so much suffering in love? Maharaj, all suffering is born of desire. True love is never frustrated. How can the sense of unity be frustrated? What can be frustrated is the desire for expression. Such desire is of the mind. As with all things mental, frustration is inevitable. Questioner, what is the place of sex in love? Maharaj, love is a state of being. Sex is energy. Love is wise. Sex is blind. Once the true nature of love and sex is understood, there will be no conflict or confusion. Questioner, there is so much sex without love. Maharaj, without love, all is evil. Life itself without love is evil. Questioner, who can make me love? Maharaj, you are love itself when you are not afraid. Living is life's only purpose. To be always on the move, learning, discovering, unfolding is your eternal destiny. Living is life's only purpose. Questioner, what does it mean to fail in yoga? Who is a failure in yoga? Yoga Brashta. Maharaj, it is only a question of incompletion. He who could not complete his yoga for some reason is called a failed yogi. Such failure is only temporary, for there can be no defeat in yoga. This battle is always won, for it is a battle between the true and the false. The false has no chance. Questioner, who fails? The person, Vyatki, or the self, Vyatka? Maharaj, the question is wrongly put. There is no question of failure, neither in the short run nor in the long. It is like traveling a long, arduous road in an unknown country. All of the innumerable steps, there is only the last, which brings you to your destination. Yet you would not consider all previous steps as failures. Each brought you nearer to your goal, even when you had to turn back to bypass an obstacle. In reality, each step brings you to your goal, because to be always on the move, learning, discovering, unfolding is your eternal destiny. Living is life's only purpose. The self does not identify itself with success or failure. The very idea of becoming this or that is unthinkable. The self understands that success and failure are relative and related, that they are the very fabric of life. Learn from both and go beyond. If you have not learned, repeat. Questioner, what am I to learn? Maharaj, to live without self-concern. For this you must know your own true being, Swarupa, as indomitable, fearless, ever victorious. Once you know with absolute certainty that nothing can trouble you but your own imagination, you come to disregard your desires and fears, concepts and ideas, and live by truth alone. Questioner, what may be the reason that some people succeed and others fail in yoga? Is it destiny or character or just accident? Maharaj, nobody ever fails in yoga. It is all a matter of the rate of progress. It is slow in the beginning and rapid in the end. When one is fully matured, realization is explosive. It takes place spontaneously or at the slightest hint. The quick is not better than the slow. Slow ripening and rapid flowering alternate. Both are natural and right. Yet all this is so in the mind only. As I see it, there is really nothing of the kind. In the great mirror of consciousness, images arise and disappear, and only memory gives them continuity. And memory is material, destructible, perishable, transient. On such flimsy foundations, we build a sense of personal existence. Vague, intermittent, dreamlike. This vague persuasion, I am so-and-so, obscures the changeless state of pure awareness and makes us believe that we are born to suffer and to die. Questioner: just as a child cannot help growing, so does a man, compelled by nature, make progress. Why exert oneself? Where is the need of yoga? Maharaj: there is progress all the time. Everything contributes to progress, but this is the progress of ignorance. The circles of ignorance may be ever widening, yet it remains a bondage all the same. In due course, a guru appears to teach and inspire us to practice yoga, and a ripening takes place, as a result of which the immemorial night of ignorance dissolves before the rising sun of wisdom. But in reality, nothing happened. The sun is always there. There is no night to it. The mind, blinded by the I am the body idea, spins out endlessly its thread of illusion. Questioner: if all is a part of a natural process, where is the need for effort? Maharaj: even effort is a part of it. When ignorance becomes obstinate and hard and the character gets perverted, effort and the pain of it becomes inevitable. In complete obedience to nature, there is no effort. The seed of spiritual life grows in silence and in darkness until its appointed hour. Questioner: we come across some great people who in their old age become childish, petty, quarrelsome, and spiteful. How could they deteriorate so much? Maharaj: they were not perfect yogis, having their bodies under complete control, or they might not have cared to protect their bodies from the natural decay. One must not draw conclusions without understanding all the factors, all above. One must not make judgments of inferiority or superiority. Youthfulness is more a matter of vitality, prana, than of wisdom, jnana. Questioner: one may get old, but why should one lose all alertness and discrimination? Maharaj: consciousness and unconsciousness, while in the body, depend on the condition of the brain, but the self is beyond both, beyond the brain, beyond the mind. The fault of the instrument is no reflection on its user. Questioner: I was told that a realized man will never do anything unseemly. He will always behave in an exemplary way. Maharaj: who sets the example? Why should a liberated man necessarily follow conventions? The moment he becomes predictable, he cannot be free. His freedom lies in his being free to fulfill the need of the moment, to obey the necessity of the situation. Freedom to do what one likes is really bondage, while being free to do what one must, what is right, is real freedom. Questioner: still, there must be some way of making out who has realized and who has not. If one is indistinguishable from another, of what use is he? Maharaj: he who knows himself has no doubts about it, nor does he care whether others recognize his state or not. Rare is the realized man who discloses his realization, and fortunate are those who have met him, for he does it with their abiding welfare. Questioner: when one looks around, one is appalled by the volume of unnecessary suffering that is going on. People who should be helped are not getting help. Imagine a big hospital ward full of incurables tossing and moaning. Were you given the authority to kill them all and end their torture, would you not do so? Maharaj: I would leave it to them to decide. Questioner: but if their destiny is to suffer, how can you interfere with destiny? Maharaj: their destiny is what happens. There is no thwarting of destiny. You mean to say everybody's life is totally determined at his birth? What a strange idea. Were it so, the power that determines would see to it that nobody should suffer. Questioner, what about cause and effect? Maharaj, each moment contains the whole of the past and creates the whole of the future. Questioner, but past and future exist? Maharaj, in the mind only. Time is in the mind, space is in the mind. The law of cause and effect is also a way of thinking. In reality, all is here and now, and all is one. Multiplicity and diversity are in the mind only. Questioner, still you are in favor of relieving suffering, even through destruction of the incurably diseased body. Maharaj, again, you look from outside while I look from within. I do not see a sufferer. I am the sufferer. I know him from within, and I do what is right spontaneously and effortlessly. I follow no rules, nor do I lay down rules. I flow with life, faithfully and irresistibly. Questioner, still you seem to be a very practical man, in full control of your immediate surroundings. Maharaj, what else do you expect me to be? A misfit? Questioner, yet you cannot help another much. Maharaj, surely I can help. You too can help. Everyone can help. But the suffering is all the time recreated. Man alone can destroy himself. In the roots of pain. Others can only help with the pain, but not with its cause, which is the abysmal stupidity of mankind. Questioner, will this stupidity ever come to an end? Maharaj, in man? Of course, at any moment. In humanity as we know it, after very many years in creation, never. For creation itself is rooted in ignorance. Matter itself is ignorance. Not to know and not to know that one does not know is the cause of endless suffering. Questioner, we are told of the great avatars, the saviors of the world. Maharaj, did they save? They have come and gone, and the world plods on. Of course, they did a lot and opened new dimensions in the human mind, but to talk of saving the world is an exaggeration. Questioner, is there no salvation for the world? Maharaj, which world do you want to save? The world of your own projection? Save it yourself. My world? Show me my world, and I shall deal with it. I am not aware of any world separate from myself, which I am free to save or not to save. What business have you with saving the world, when all the world needs is to be saved from you? Get out of the picture and see whether there is anything left to save. Questioner, you seem to stress the point that without you, your world would not have existed, and therefore the only thing you can do for it is to wind up the show. This is not a way out. Even if the world were my own creation, this knowledge does not save it, it only explains it. The question remains, why did I create such a wretched world, and what can I do to change it? You seem to say, forget it all and admire your own glory. Surely you don't mean it. The description of a disease and its causes does not cure it. What we need is the right medicine. Maharaj, the description and causation are the remedy for a disease caused by obtuseness and stupidity. Just like a deficiency, disease is cured through the supply of the missing factor. So are the diseases of living cured by a good dose of intelligent detachment, viveka, vairagya. Questioner, you cannot save the world by preaching counsels of perfection. People are as they are. Must they suffer? Maharaj, as long as they are as they are, there is no escape from suffering. Remove the sense of separateness, and there will be no conflict. Questioner, a message in print is paper and ink only. It is the text that matters. By analyzing the world into elements and qualities, we miss what is most important, its meaning. Your reduction of everything to a dream disregards the difference between the dream of an insect and the dream of a poet. All is a dream, granted, but not all are equal. Maharaj, the dreams are not equal, but the dreamer is one. I am the insect, I am the poet in a dream. But in reality, I am neither. I am beyond all dreams. I am the light in which all dreams appear and disappear. I am both inside and outside the dream. Just as a man having a headache knows the ache and also knows that he is not the ache, so do I know the dream, myself dreaming and myself not dreaming, all at the same time. I am what I am before, during, and after the dream, but what I see in the dream I am not. Questioner. It is all a matter of imagination. One imagines that one is dreaming, another imagines that he is not dreaming. Are not both the same? Maharaj. The same and not the same. Not dreaming, as an interval between two dreams, is of course a part of dreaming. Not dreaming as a steady hold on and timeless abidance in reality has nothing to do with dreaming. In that case, I never dream, nor ever shall. Questioner. If both dream and escape from dream are imaginings, what is the way out? Maharaj. There is no need of a way out. Don't you see that a way out is also a part of the dream? All you have to do is to see the dream as a dream. Questioner. If I start the practice of dismissing everything as a dream, where will it lead me? Maharaj. Wherever it leads you, it will be a dream. The very idea of going beyond the dream is illusory. Why go anywhere? Just realize that you are dreaming a dream you call the world and stop looking for ways out. The dream is not your problem. Your problem is that you like one part of your dream and not another. Love all or none of it. And stop complaining. When you have seen the dream as a dream, you have done all that needs to be done. Questioner. Is dreaming caused by thinking? Maharaj. Everything is a play of ideas. In the state free from ideation, nirvikalpa samadhi, nothing is perceived. The root idea is I am. It shatters the state of pure consciousness and is followed by innumerable sensations and perceptions, feeling and ideas, which in their totality constitute God and His world. The I am remains the witness, but it is by the will of God that everything happens. Questioner. Why not my will? Maharaj. Again, you have split yourself into God and witness. Both are one. You are free now. You are free now. What is it that you want to desire? Desire it. You are the infinite potentiality, the inexhaustible possibility. Because you are all can be. The universe is but a partial manifestation of your limitless capacity to become. Questioner. There are so many theories about the nature of man and the universe. The creation theory, the illusion theory, the dream theory, any number of them. Which is true? Maharaj. All are true. All are false. You can pick up whichever you like best. Questioner. You seem to favor the dream theory. Maharaj. These are all ways of putting words together. Some favor one way, some favor another way. Theories are neither right or wrong. They are attempts at explaining the inexplainable. It is not the theory that matters, but the way it is being tested. It is the testing of the theory that makes it fruitful. Experiment with any theory you like. If you are truly earnest and honest, the attainment of reality will be yours. As a living being, you are caught in an untenable and painful situation, and you are seeking a way out. You are being offered several plans of your prison, none quite true. They are all of some value, but only if you are in dead earnest. It is the earnestness that liberates, and not the theory. Questioner. Theory may be misleading and earnestness blind. Maharaj, your sincerity will guide you. Devotion to the goal of freedom and perfection will make you abandon all theories and systems and live by wisdom, intelligence, and active love. Theories may be good and starting points, but must be abandoned. The sooner the better. Questioner. There is a yogi who says that for realization, the Eightfold Yoga is not necessary, that willpower alone will do. It is enough to concentrate on the goal with full confidence in the power of pure will to obtain effortlessly and quickly what others take decades to achieve. Maharaj, concentration, full confidence, pure will, with such assets, no wonder one attains in no time. This yoga of will is all right for the mature seeker who has shed all desires but one. After all, what is will but steadfastness of heart and mind? Given such steadfastness, all can be achieved. Questioner. I feel the yogi did not mean mere steadfastness of purpose, resulting in ceaseless pursuit and application. He meant that with fixed on the goal, no pursuit or application is needed. The mere fact of willing attracts its object. Maharaj, whatever name you give it, will, steady purpose, or one-pointedness of the mind, you come back to earnestness, sincerity, honesty. When you are in dead earnest, you bend every incident, every second of your life to your purpose. You do not waste time and energy on other things. You are totally dedicated. Call it will, love, or plain honesty. We are complex beings at war within and without. We contradict ourselves all the time, undoing today the work of yesterday. No wonder we are stuck. A little integrity would make a lot of difference. Questioner. What is more powerful, desire or destiny? Maharaj, desire shapes destiny. Questioner. And destiny shapes desire. My desires are conditioned by heredity and circumstances, by opportunities and accidents, by what we call destiny. Maharaj, yes, you may say so. Questioner. At what point am I free to desire what I want to desire? Maharaj, you are free now. What is it that you want to desire? Desire it. Questioner. Of course I am free to desire, but I am not free to act on my desire. Other urges will lead me astray. My desire is not strong enough, even if it has my approval. Other desires which I disapprove of are stronger. Maharaj, maybe you are deceiving yourself. Maybe you are giving expression to your real desires, and the ones you approve of are kept on the surface for the sake of respectability. Questioner. It may be as you say, but this is just another theory. The fact is that I do not feel free to desire what I think I should, and then when I seem to desire rightly, I do not act accordingly. Maharaj, it is all due to weakness of the mind and disintegration of the brain. Collect and strengthen your mind, and you will find that your thoughts and feelings, words and actions will align themselves in the direction of your will. Questioner. Again, a counsel of perfection. To integrate and strengthen the mind is not an easy task. How does one begin? Maharaj, you can start only from where you are. You are here and now. You cannot get out of here and now. Questioner. But what can I do here and now? Maharaj, you can be aware of your being here and now. Questioner. That is all? Maharaj, that is all. There is nothing more to it. Questioner. In all my waking and dreaming, I am conscious of myself. It does not help me much. Maharaj, you were aware of thinking, feeling, doing. You were not aware of your being. Questioner, what is the new factor you want me to bring in? Maharaj, the attitude of pure witnessing. of watching the events without taking part in them. Questioner, what will it do to me? Maharaj, weak-mindedness is due to lack of intelligence, of understanding, which again is the result of non-awareness. By striving for awareness, you bring your mind together and strengthen it. Questioner, I may be fully aware of what is going on, and yet quite unable to influence it in any way. Maharaj, you are mistaken. What is going on is a projection of your mind. A weak mind cannot control its own projections. Be aware, therefore, of your mind and its projections. You cannot control what you do not know. On the other hand, knowledge gives you power. In practice, it is very simple to control yourself, to know yourself. Questioner, maybe I can come to control myself, but shall I be able to deal with the chaos of the world? Maharaj, there is no chaos in the world, except the chaos which your mind creates. It is self-created in the sense that at its very center is the false idea of oneself as a thing different and separate from other things. In reality, you are not a thing, nor are you separate. You are the infinite potentiality, the inexhaustible possibility. Because you are, all can be. The universe is but a partial manifestation of your limitless capacity to become. Questioner, I find that I am totally motivated by desire for pleasure and fear of pain. However noble my desire and justified my fear, pleasure and pain are the two poles between which my life oscillates. Maharaj, go to the source of both pain and pleasure, of desire and fear. Observe, investigate, try to understand. Questioner, desire and fear are both feelings caused by physical and mental factors. They are there, easily observable. But why are they there? Why do I desire pleasure and fear pain? Maharaj, pleasure and pain are states of mind. As long as you think you are the mind, or rather the body-mind, you are bound to raise such questions. Questioner, and when I realize that I am not the body, shall I be free from desire and fear? Maharaj, as long as there is a body and a mind to protect the body, attractions and repulsions will operate. They will be there, out in the field of events, but will not concern you. The focus of your attention will be elsewhere. You will not be distracted. Questioner, still they will be there. Will I never be completely free? Maharaj, you are completely free even now. What you call destiny, karma, is but a result of your own will to live. How strong this will is, you can judge by the universal horror of death. Questioner, people die willingly quite often. Maharaj, only when the alternative is worse than death. But such readiness to die flows from the same source as the will to live, a source deeper than even life itself. To be a living being is not the ultimate state. There is something beyond, much more wonderful, which is neither being nor non-being, neither living nor non-living. It is a state of pure awareness, beyond the limitations of space and time. Once the illusions that the body-mind is oneself is abandoned, death loses its terror. It becomes a part of living.